Hi, I'm Terry from Waconda Boats here in Glen Elder, Kansas and Republican City, Nebraska. And we're going to do a walkthrough of the 2018 2075 Tyee. Lund came out with this model about 5 years ago when they replaced the old 1950 Tyee. And since then it's proven to become one of their best-selling models. We're going to have several of these in stock. This one being shown here in black. We also stock it in white. Those are the two most popular colors for us anyhow. And I'll kind of point out all the different options that we stock ours with and how ours are all going to be set up. So anyway, to start with, this boat really appeals to anybody that's looking to get that total big water package. This boat will handle about any water you can come across, and it does it very well. Also, it's very attractive to people that are just just customers in general that are just looking to take a few extra people, or someone with a big family. It's very appealing too, just because of the extra room you have in the cockpit or the boat in general, and the seating arrangement, the seating layout. So it's an attractive boat to a lot of different customers. The boat's 20 feet and 8 inches in overall length, and it's 99.5 inches wide. And for such a large boat, it planes out very fast. It's definitely also one of their most comfortable rides as well. So it's a very nice riding boat. Now to start with, all ours are going to be what's called, we're going to have in stock with anyway, with this decal, which is the 3D Lund logo. All of our Pro Vs, crossovers, and Tyees are going to have that option. Standard decal would just be a sticker. We feel this really sets the boat out nicely, and it's a fairly inexpensive option, so all ours will have that. And the second thing while we're outside of the boat here is the trailer upgrade. This is what they call a custom bunk, and the first thing that gives you, and the most important thing that gives you, is the Lund Armor paint job. And what that is, it's 2 coats of this paint, and it resembles sort of a rhino lining or a bed liner type of a feel to it, so it's just a lot more gravel pit and rock chip resistant. And like all of the Shorelander trailers, they come with the swing away tongue that's nice in the garage. Also with that option, you get the diamond plated fenders. So it's a lot nicer fender. It comes with nicer wheels than the standard trailer would. And also there's a matching spare tire mounted on the trailer as well with those rims. Another thing that option gives you is these roller guides. And that's a really nice feature. The old load guides were the bunk style, and if you hit those hard enough, they tended to kind of buff the side of the boat up a little bit. These will not do that. So that's a big improvement they've made in the last couple of years. And like any of the trailers, of course, you're going to have the retractable tie downs, which is very handy. They stay bolted onto the trailer, so you're not going to lose them or forget them anywhere. So that's the trailer. All of ours in stock are going to be max horsepower maxed out in horsepower with the 250 Verado Pro. That equipped with the 19 pitch Tempest. It really peaks your performance out. And anytime you have a 225 or larger on the Mercury Verados, you get the power steering as well. Which is handy. Is that this steers very nice with the power steering. Because of that, any of our power steering models, we go ahead and put what's called the kicker pre-rig with it as well. And so the controls are already mounted for your kicker and all the hardware here. So for us to put a kicker on here, we just have to set it in there, set it on here, bolt it on, and plug it in. So it's very easy to do. The reason we do that mainly is just because it's just a lot easier to have one do the extra components for that to make the kicker work with that power steering. I would say 80%, if not more, of the people buying this boat package are going to put a 15 kicker on here anyway. And that way it's just a lot easier to do. Even if you don't put a kicker on it though, and say you wanted to do it later down the road, it would be less expensive than now that this part's already out of the way. So it's not a bad thing to have. As we get over here, this is a standard feature. It's a 4-step ladder. You can see how it really telescopes down into the water. Nice, easy way to get in and out of the boat. If you're doing any tubing or skiing or just swimming in general. Covers right up so you're not going to stub your feet on it. It's nice and handy and mounted under this splash well there. As we climb into the boat, so now that we're inside the boat, I'll kind of start at the back and work forward. You can see everything's flipped down right now for your casting deck in the back. You've got a nice sized casting deck on this model, and typical to any of the Tyees and crossovers as well, you get the regular flip up jump seats as well. And so when you flip those up, you have, on this model especially the 2075, you just have a lot of room on it, you know, from these back casting or these back jump seats. You just got a ton of space between you and the guy in front of you. So that's really attractive to a lot of people in this model. Okay, and then you flip your seats up. You have your cranking batteries stow away underneath each one of these seats as well. Now on the starboard side here is what we're looking at. You can see they have the power steering pump mounted in there. Now that battery tray is actually where your accessory battery would go if you were to put a kicker motor on this, or if you do put a kicker, that's going to be the kicker's battery. So basically the way we wire these up is there's also a battery isolator back up under there you can't see as well. That's all part of that kicker pre-rig for the kicker to work with that power steering pump. So basically the way we wire it up though, all of your electronics as far as your fish finders, the live well pumps, anything like that is all going to be run off the kicker's battery. So, and then your cranking battery is always going to be isolated to just the main engine, and that stows away right here. So that way, the reason for doing this really is if you ever did have a battery issue to where you ran the battery down by leaving a depth finder on too long or vice versa, you'll always have your cranking battery to start your Verado motor to charge them both back up. So you'll never really run into trouble that way. Okay, and then here I'll start in the back. You got your center live well, a very, very large live well. You can put this divider in there. There's an LED light in there. It's a really large live well. This here is for air ride pedestals are another option that we stock with all of our Tyees as well. So that not only does that give you extra cushion for the ride, it's a lot easier to move from the cockpit to another seat base. You just pick straight up on them and they move very easily into this back pedestal base. And so that's where your chair will go for fishing off the back. This here is the ski pylon hardware. It's factory installed standard on all these boats now. It doesn't come with a pylon, but we usually have it in stock, or we can always order it, and all you have to do is drop it right in place. So there's no installation to that, which is nice. Here in the center, you have a nice sized cubby hole for storing whatever you want to put there. You got a couple cup holders there on both sides. These cutouts here are a perfect place to drop a rod just to quickly put something in place. It's also a perfect place to put a landing net. These are cut out for like your needle nose pliers, so there's a lot of nice storage right there. Now, the top I have up in this right now because I really wanted to show you what it looked like when it was up. But when you're not using the top, it actually lays down in here and folds back up underneath these jump seats. So it's a perfect place to stow it away. You're not tripping over it, you're not stepping on it. So that's where the top will be most of the time. And then all of ours in stock are going to have what's called the snap out carpet option as well. So it's a vinyl main floor underneath. If you're just going fishing, a lot of people will just take this carpet and leave it clear out. And if you want the comfort of the carpet, you just snap them right back in place. And that seems to be a real popular option that most people want, so all ours will have it. And then I'll start on the port side over here in the gunnel, another lockable compartment. Okay, you can actually put a lot longer rods in there too. It goes most of the length of the whole side of the gunnel here as well. So there's just a ton of storage in this side. Again, that's a lockable compartment. And then on the starboard side, you have a very similar compartment, not quite as long because of your controls, but it's another large compartment. There's a lot of storage in the side of these boats, the gunwales. Your main rod box is down on the floor. Again, it's lockable. There's an LED light when you turn your interior lights on that'll light that up as well. You can hold the 10 rods in there, and they have their own each individual tubes. You're not going to get them tangled up with one another. So it's a perfect place to stow away your rods. You can see that canvas piece in there right now. That's the travel cover. All of ours in stock are going to have the travel cover. And then over here on the passenger side, very good sized glove box. There's also a 12 volt adapter in there as well, or 12 volt outlet I should say. Lockable compartment. Below both consoles have some cargo netting as well for stuff you want to put in there, keep it from blowing out. Over at the driver's side, tilt power steering on this model. The boat's very easy to steer. The kicker pre-rig, here's your second controls. That's for your kicker motor. This is your main engine's Verado controls. They both have their own key switch. So that's all part of the kicker pre-rig there. The stereo is a kicker brand as well. We've had good luck with the stereos. It's a good sounding stereo. You can Bluetooth your phone right to that. You can also run your USB to that as well. Switches are nice and handy to get to. Everything being run off this master power. So all your switches are right there. Your interior lights, navigation lights, your bilge, and your live well pump is all run from right here. Okay. Now I'll go to this top here. I have the top up. You can see this is called the sport top, And they changed this a couple years ago from what they used to have as a standard top, so it's a lot nicer top. It's a sturdier built frame than it had been in the past. It's actually a little taller than it was. You can see I'm 6'2", and I can easily stand underneath the top. I have plenty of room there. Another big improvement they made on these tops too is where they used to have just a thumb screw and they had to install some stuff into the boat to make it work. These are just a quick knuckle attached into this track system, so there's no drilling holes for the top to be installed, and they're just a quick detach. So the tops are considerably better than they were. They're a dual purpose top. You can see right now we have it all opened up for summertime, so you can let the breeze come in through. And if it were cool, let's say you're fishing early in the spring or late in the fall, you can go ahead and close this up. Okay, and they also come with a walk-through curtain, which is standard as well. And that snaps basically from here down to the floor. And what that does is it blocks any wind from coming in if you're out in cooler weather. So it's a very nice top. All our Tyees will have that. Crossovers as well. And then down here, so it's not such a drastic step to get up onto the bow. They have another, this is basically just a step to get up to the bow, but they didn't waste the space. So you got another compartment here. It's a good spot to put those plano tackle boxes or whatever you can think of to put in there. They fit in there nice. Now up on the front, you have a very large casting deck on the front. The other thing this boat does that people tend to like is you can actually seat people on the bow as well real easily. This comes out. The cooler option is another option we put with all ours. It's very inexpensive, and so all our Tyees will have that. But if you flip this down, you take the cooler out and flip that compartment just like that, you actually have some extra leg space for seating people up here. It comes with a couple cup holders. It also standardly has these backrests up here, so you can lay your legs out clear across. There's plenty of room on this model to do so. And if you want to, we can order what they call bow cushions too, and they snap in place up here and cover the whole front. So if you're doing a lot of tubing or skiing or just cruising with extra people, this is a good place to seat some extra people as well. Okay, so now that I'll start with the other compartments up here. In front of the driver's side is your bow live well. All the Tyees will have the second live well in the front. So it's a large live well. It also has an LED light in there as well. Another compartment in front of that. It's a really deep storage compartment. You can put quite a lot of stuff in there yet. Now most people also in this center compartment, most people are going to put a bow mounted trolling motor up here as well. And your batteries for that stow away in this center compartment. It's the perfect spot to balance out the weight with your batteries. There's 3 battery trays in here. A lot of guys will go ahead and do the 36 volt systems on this. Your charger mounts down in there as well. So that's where your trolling motor batteries will stow away. And then your main large compartment over here on the port side, another lockable compartment, and just a ton of storage here. It goes back up clear underneath the passenger console, and just a very large sized bow compartment. You also get these cargo netting on the bow standard, so all the stuff that you're using consistently, you don't want to put clear back away. It's a handy place to keep things from blowing out. Both sides will have that. You have another compartment here in the very tip of the bow too, also lockable. So you got just a ton of storage here in the bow of this boat. With your interior lights, you have another LED light here in the front as well. I think that pretty much covers the 2075 Tyee. If I missed anything or if you have any questions at all, feel free to call us. Our emails and phone numbers are on our website, wacondaboats.com. And I'm Terry here in Glen Elder, Kansas, and my brother Travis is up in Republican City, Nebraska. Thanks.